And I had this idea, a big idea, a monster idea. And I had gotten up and gone to a coffee shop and drone out. I basically drove to this shop and I drew out this interface where it was a buyer and a seller, and I had this drawing of a monster. And that drawing actually went to a guy named Alan Downing, and he drew the first monster, which is called Trumposaurus. And we put the first job posting on Mozilla browser, basically building our first website, which was called the Monster Board.
Now, was it a hit overnight, or was it something that like more and more people started? Like, tell me how the early days of Monster were.
So no, it wasn't a hit overnight. In fact, we had clients. I placed help wanted ads in the newspaper. That was what my ad agency did. And so we took about 20 or 25 of our clients, had them each put up about 20 jobs. I think we really, at the end of the day, started with like 250 free job postings. And no one knew what the internet was. And so my clients who liked us said, sure, put it wherever you want. I don't know what it is. And so the first reaction was, well, we don't have email or an internet connection. So we were getting resumes in. They were coming from Peru and from India and China and California. And there were some from Boston. And we were printing them out, putting them in a manila envelope and sending them to our clients. This is how bad this was at the beginning, right? And so some of our clients said, getting these like 8-page resumes from somewhere else in the world. We only want people applying for a job that are actually from Boston. So take our jobs down. And so there was a first, almost like a kill moment where it could have been the end right there, except for Adweek called and said, you have some sort of an application that is on the internet for jobs. We'd like to come and write a story about it. And unlike today, where they'd probably just call up and you do a video call like this, they came to the shop, they saw our monsters, they wrote a story. And that was the beginning of the first click, where we started to get some more traction. Then a few clients made hires. And so this is like, the MVP, like proof of concept. Yep. But my first salesperson was coming in saying, in tears, basically saying that they all day long, they were calling people up and people were basically listening to her story about the internet and then saying, thank you for teaching me about the internet. I don't have any interest in your product. I don't even know what your product is. And so there was this very difficult start. And, people say, it's easy to start now. And it was very challenging when we started. And the newspapers were all the help wanted sections were, and that's where all the help wanted revenue went. And so it was really our job to migrate over the course of about 5 to 7 years, the place where you look for a job from the newspaper to Monster.
But that's great, because we were just like on the forefront of just like society in general was kind of moving that way. People were moving away from newspapers, but people forget that in the late 90s, it was that AOL CD, and that's how people got online, and they didn't really do much except for read. And so you're trying to change this whole concept of what's possible. And I just love that.
No question. And then people started liking the efficiency.